This is going to be rough. Cheers. All right, let's do this. Okay, let's take a look at this. We have a military ration, and we'll look at the outside of the box. On this side, this is like not for sale, and all the production info and the contact information down here. And on this side, it lets you know what type of ration it is. It is an individual ration nutrition option or diet number 2. And it let you know, you look at the number 2 down here, it lets you know the amount of calories that it has, the number of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. And you look down here on the bottom, the top number is the package date, and the bottom number is the expiration. So, all right, let's crack into this thing. All right, sometimes these can be easy to open, sometimes not, but we will simply grab it right here and start pulling apart. This one is, well, kind of really came apart on me, but it is what it is. And again, it's got that nice foil lining. Which side is up? Come on, out! Come on! No, I don't want to. Oh my Lord! It is fighting me every step of the way. So, all right, got everything out of there, and let's take a look, see what we got. Okay, and for those of you that have never opened one of these, as soon as you open them up, it has a distinct smell of these crackers. Crackers usually come in 2 different types. Usually a flour base, which is a little lighter in color, and some like wheat base. So we'll take a look at that in a second. Right off the bat, we have some minced sausage, kind of like a pate. What do we have here? And pretty much just translates to a gentle pate. So, 3 spoons. And these aren't the most durable spoons. However, we're still going to use them because they're in here. And there's also a knife, usually located down on the bottom. Depending on what type of ration you get, you'll either get 4 or 6 packets. So you can see these are kind of dark. And then we have 2 more. So you can see the different colors. These are the wheat-based and these are the flour-based. So you have 2 packs of those a piece. Okay, these are like, this one's a peach drink, like adaption drinks. And this one is a raspberry drink. And what do we have here? Okay, it looks like some beef and potatoes. So we got that. And then we've got, and then we've got these meatballs. They're like beef meatballs. Well, you know, pretty much. I haven't had these before, so looking forward to trying those. All right, and then we have some large 20-gram packets of sugar, in case if you need it. Some salt. And down here, this is a content sheet. And it also gives you some advice on what to eat with what for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Alright, this one is like a black currant drink. And then, interesting looking chocolate bar. First time I've seen it in like a wrapper like this. So that's kind of cool. And I thought this was another drink. This is like the apple jelly or the apple butter. And these are like the moist towelettes. 3 of those. The stormproof matches with a strike. Okay, this is like the pork or like bacon fat kind of stuff that I really gaffed on my on my first review. So looking forward to a little redemption with that. Okay, this one is like the ragu with vegetables. You know, it's probably like a little pureed vegetables. And then my favorite, we have it's kasha or buckwheat porridge, and this has a little bit of beef in there. So I always look forward to that. And then it looks like we got some cherries on there. Let me figure out. Okay, what I thought were cherries are actually apples. So this is probably like that applesauce pureed dessert thing, which I've had that before, and that was really nice. So my nemesis, the cheese. I haven't got cheese in the last 2 rations, but my very first time I said, hey, let me heat this up a little bit, you know, make it nice and creamy. And I forgot about it on the stove, and it blew up. So I won't be doing that with this one. It's a chemical heater. It's got the little stove with 3 pellets. Feels like pepper in there. Nope, that is not pepper. Hold on one sec. Oh, this is actual cream. It's like well, powdered cream substitute, because this one is the pepper. This is the daily multivitamin, which I think is a really good touch for these rations to make sure that you have everything that you need. 2 bags of tea, it's usually black tea. A cup of coffee. I actually kind of enjoy this coffee. I know from talking with some of the Russian soldiers, they were like, oh, that stuff's crap, but compared to what I've gotten in some MREs, it's actually pretty decent. 3 water purification tablets. There might be another one in here somewhere. A little souvenir from the packaging plant. A knife. These are all hollow, so doesn't necessarily make them the most durable. Some steamer roll gum. Looks like it's grape flavored. Finally, these are like the expiration dates for all of like these type of things in the foil packets. And lastly, we have some napkins. It looks like that's everything in there. So, all right, let's get this stuff warmed up, and we'll start sampling. Okay, let's start with the drinks. Instead of making all of these adaptation drinks, I'm just going to make this black currant because I haven't had that before. And again, we'll do the tea and the coffee. Coffee I happen to enjoy. Now there's a trick to using this. This has quite a bit of like sugar crystals in here. So what a lot of the forces do is they will take their drink and pour it into the glass or container or cup or whatever they're using. And you can actually see the sugar crystals inside of there. So what they'll do to help that reconstitute is in weather where it's not so cold outside, they'll just put a little bit of hot water in the bottom of the glass to help that absorb that sugar into the actual liquids. And if it's cold outside, they just fill the whole thing full of hot water. So after this dilutes a little bit, we'll add some cool water to this. Okay, it's been about 2 or 3 minutes. You can look at the bottom and you can see there's no big mass of floaty stuff like the first time I did this. So let's top off a little bit of cool water. And we'll give this a stir. And now the tea. This is just standard black tea. It's nothing super special. We'll put a little water in here. And we'll let that steep for a little while. And lastly, the coffee. And if you wanted to, you could add some cream or sugar and some cream to there. Okay, while the mains are still heating up a little bit, let's start plating a few things. We'll start off with the crackers, seeing how I have them handy. Again, we have those wheat-based and the flour-based. You can see they have slight different color. So let's take a look at these. And I just watched somebody do a review on these, and they were like, what are these made out of? Floor tiles? And, you know, these are supposed to be hardy and durable. They're supposed to last for, you know, a good long time. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. They're really supposed to be mixed with whatever main or side you are having. You're really not supposed to eat them raw. And if you got something that has a lot of sauce and soup, this stuff really does absorb all of that type of sauces and stuff. So we have 2 types of crackers, and we're going to need all those crackers because we have a bunch of different pâtés and cheeses and things like that. And the way how I understand this is you have like 1 packet for breakfast, and you can have that with your jam or whatever. And then you have 2 packets for lunch with your pâtés, and then you have 1 packet for dinner. So you get them all throughout the day. So this is some gentle pâté, and that's pretty much what the name says on it. And it's like a Spam product. It's probably, you know, pork. So it's nothing too crazy. But I remember these are like really, what's the word? Thin or silky, kind of like. And here's the other pâté. This is like a minced sausage. And you can just totally tell the difference in the smells. You know, they look slightly different, but this one smells real good. I'm looking forward to trying this one. This is probably going to be a tray problem. I've still got a whole pile of stuff over here. We have the cheese. The last time I had the cheese, it ended up on my kitchen ceiling because I forgot it on the stove because I wanted to be smooth and kind of heat it up, make it all nice and creamy. So it smells like any other kind of processed cheese that you've ever had in any type of canned ration. So not incredibly surprising there. This is like a vegetable ragu. It has like bell peppers in there, tomato. It says garlic greens, so probably just a bit of garlic. And one thing I've learned over the years, if you got something that's soupy inside of this, you don't necessarily want to use these pull tabs, because if you pull too hard, you can crush this foil and you can end up having this stuff everywhere or all over you. So let me slice this thing open. Alright, here, so there's that ragu. You can see it kind of looks like a tomato sauce, but it's mainly pepper, like red pepper, bell pepper. And you can really smell that pepper fragrance coming out of there. And of course you can smell a hint of that tomato too. I'm just going to set that right over there because we're running out of real estate. And this is like a dessert. It's like an applesauce, but it's like mashed apples, more of like a puree. These are really good. This is really tasty. So let me crack this thing open. All right, try to get my hand in here without getting it all in here, if you know what I mean. So there you go. It's not quite as puree as I remember it as last time, but man, the apple has a real nice fragrance. There's like a hint of something else in there too. Maybe just a touch of like cinnamon or nutmeg. So there's that apple puree. Then of course, everybody's favorite chocolate. I was just looking at a mountain ration for one of these. And this is the first time that I've got this actual brand of chocolate. I've got like all silver foil, and I've got like is packaged in green. But that mountain ration had like 5 of these things in there. So I was like, well, maybe these are a lot more common than I was led to believe. And it does look a lot thicker than, man, does not want to surrender out. So right off the bat, that is a glob of chocolate. They are serious about that. And it's a really dark chocolate too. You can really smell that cocoa. And I guess if you look in there real quick, it's got, I mean, well, not real quick, but real good. It's got some writing in there too. I really can't understand what it is. So, okay, we've got the cocoa. And then we have this jam that we can use for our crackers. Now, I watched my dear friend Emmy take this out and pour it into a glass of hot water and drink it. I'm going to have to try that someday, but for this review, I'll be using this apple butter or this apple jam for my crackers. She said it tasted really good, and she's quite kind of an authority with tasting stuff and palates, so I'll have to defer to her someday. And the last thing I have right on hand until I go grab those mains is the vitamin tablet. The first review that I did, I actually ate the vitamin tablet. It's no big deal. It's nothing more than or less than a multivitamin tablet. But that is what that looks like. We'll stick that over here. I guess I can show you the gum too. The Stimorol gum. They're little briquettes of grape flavored gum, and we'll have them at the end of the review. Technically, this is a side. I had this in my very first ration, and I thought it was like a fish and fat or something like that, and it's actually like bacon or pork that's in grease. And they use this for like mountain conditions, really cold conditions, so that they can use that oil and grease and all of that to help heat the body. So the first time I did it, I left it in its natural state. I didn't heat it up. So this time I actually heated it up. So we'll try some of that bacon fat. It's pretty much what it is. So if you like bacon and you like the little fat little bits of it, you will enjoy this. And for breakfast, they usually have this great kasha. This one happens to be buckwheat with a little bit of beef inside of it. There's a little gander at it right now, and you can see all of the natural packaging material, the grease and the oils. They don't use artificial food preservatives with these type of rations. So, and if you look at it, I mentioned this before, it looks just kind of like a hash. In fact, if this had corned beef in it, you would think it was corned beef hash and potatoes. I mean, they taste that similar. Okay, then for lunch or dinner, whichever one you want, they've got this their beef meatballs. You look at the picture, you know, they always look all nice and pretty. And then you open them up, you're like, hey, what happened to all like the parsley flakes? But regardless of all of that, And man, this is pretty darn hot. So we'll take some of these meatballs out of here. And like I said, I haven't had this this before, so this will be kind of interesting. Very reminiscent of like a Chef Boyardee type of meatball, at least in appearance. And here we've got meat and potatoes. It's like the staple of all men everywhere, no matter wherever you go. This one looks like it's a little soupy too, but not quite as much. So you've got some carrots, you got some potatoes, and obviously if they say that there's some meat, hopefully there's looks like kind of like minced meat in there. So we'll put some of that in there as well. And it's like a different whole gravy, so we should have a pretty different texture to it. But like all of this stuff, you're supposed to be crumbling up some of these crackers and adding it to each of this to help the cracker absorb this liquid. So to make everything taste better and to provide, you know, that crunch that you want and all that kind of stuff. Well, let's start sampling. Okay, I'm always a fan of kasha, always will be. I like corned beef hash, I like hash, so it's probably one of my favorites. Boy, you throw some hot sauce on this stuff, man, it's perfect. It's salty as it is, so it really doesn't need any extra salt unless if you want some. Pepper would probably help out a little bit, but it tastes just fine just the way it is. But like I said, a little bit of hot sauce, man, makes the world go round. And then we have these meatballs. We'll get this one so you can see inside of it. See, they're nice and full. They look pretty firm. The sauce is a little tomatoey. Almost kind of like it has like a beef stock in here. And it's not too bad. Well, so I mean, I really haven't had anything that I haven't liked from an IRP. But yeah, that's very enjoyable. And then of course the carrots, potatoes, and this little bit of meat over here. Get a little bit of all of that. Okay, the meat has a good little bite to it. So I mean, it's not soft like this is. The one thing that if you try these things, I know I keep saying it, these are not packed in, you know, preservatives and additives and all of that, you know. It's real stuff. So instead of using, you know, an emulsifier for something, they use grease. So if you don't really like oily things, this actual one might not be your favorite, but to me, you get that little hint of that carrot coming through here, so it tastes pretty darn well. Now, the one that I have been looking forward to trying the whole time is this, of course, this fat. And you can see all that grease and slime glistening in there. And I have to admit, a little bit of the sauce, I tried a little bit on the spoon, so let's give this a go. It's very, it dissolves kind of like, I don't know what you would say. It's not tough. It doesn't really have a texture to it. It just kind of melts in your mouth. Maybe that's the word. It's very salty, but you would expect that with like a salt-cured pork or bacon. So very oily too. But if you like bacon, especially with some salt on it, you would like that. That is pretty good. And it would probably work very well with a cracker, which we will demonstrate shortly. Okay, now we've got the two pâtés. We'll start off with the minced sausage on the cracker. And this isn't a very soft pâté. You can see you really have to cut into that thing. Right before I do that, I will try a little bit of the wheat and the flour biscuit. Galette, cracker, whichever you like to call it. Crumbled apart on me. The only thing is that they're just not savory. I mean, yeah, it tastes kind of like a stale cracker, but that's its whole purpose. That's the design for it. So we've got that wheat cracker with the minced sausage. I like that. That has a nice flavor to it. You know, it's got that nice little smoky kind of flavor. We'll kind of cleanse our taste buds with some coffee. And this stuff isn't bitter. It's not that, you know, it's all black right now, so it's still pretty nice and toasty. So, yeah, I really like that coffee. For Army coffee, that's pretty good coffee. And we'll try a little bit of the gentle pate. And you can see the gentle pate is a lot more creamy. It's not like the French stuff that just kind of like oozes everywhere, which that's not a bad thing, but it's just not it is not that kind of a consistency. There we go. We'll give this a try. And as with all liver type pates, I don't know what it is with liver, but I can eat it, but it's definitely not on my hit parade. So, liver pate. Now the cheese. I have been looking forward to trying the cheese for about 2 years now, a year and a half, seeing how I killed it the last time. So, it's pretty dense. Well, I mean, it's just like any type of canned cheese, which is why I tried to melt it down last time to make it easier to smooth. So, it's one of the flour crackers with a cheese. Tastes like cheese to me. It's a winner. So, alright, and we have some of this ragu. The vegetable ragu. It's peppers, tomatoes, all kinds of stuff. See all of the oils and little bits of green in there. So, we'll try this just like it is first, and then we'll try some on a cracker. And it's nice and smooth. It's cool. So, like on that hot day, that would really give you that nice cool feeling. And once you realize that it's not tomato based, you know, because I know most of us, we can't read this stuff, but once you realize it's made from like bell peppers, you're like, oh, okay, that's what that taste is. And when you put those crackers in with this, it just absorbs this liquid so fast, and it just takes this really hard, dense crunch right off of this. You know, it softens it right up. And then I think the last thing we've got is our chocolate bar. So let's give this dark chocolate a try. It's nice and dark. It's got that really strong cocoa flavor. And like I said, it's not milk chocolate, so it does have that cocoa flavor come right over. But I almost forgot. I almost forgot the applesauce. So, and I know I enjoyed this last time, so I don't want to miss it this time. And it's not as silky as the first one that I've had. But, I mean, this just looks like applesauce that you can get right out of the store. And that's pretty much what it is. The other stuff was so nice and velvety and creamy. But this is just applesauce, which is why it's called mashed apples. So, let me try this black currant drink. My God, I didn't try the jam yet. I'm really behind the game here. The black currant drink is really nice. It's got a little tartness to it, which I don't know why I wasn't expecting that, but man, that really makes a nice change. And seeing how I almost gaffed this, take a little bit of our jam or apple butter and put it on. You know what? I might save some of this and just throw it in a warm mug just so I can see what Emmy was talking about. But right there's that apple butter. Yeah, this stuff is always good. Doesn't matter what kind of ration you have it in. Apple butter is apple butter, and it always is a delight. Then, of course, I've got just our standard black tea. Let me give this a squish real quick and get it out of there. So, standard black tea with nothing in it. I don't know why, but I have black tea around here, and then I have this black tea, and for some reason, maybe I'm biased now, but this black tea just seems like it just tastes better. And I know from talking with a few Russian guys saying that tea sucks, but when you eat the same stuff and you have to drink the same stuff every single day, it's a treat for those of us that don't. Okay, here we go. Last little bit of my hot water. There's Sherman. He's saying hurry up. Some apple butter. Yeah. And we'll give it and we'll see. Down the hatch. Cheers, Emmy. I can honestly say that apple butter drink is not my drink. Okay, everybody, this was a review of a Russian Federation IRP, or individual ration nutrition. Literally, that's what it is. So, okay, everybody, thanks for watching. All right, last one. Zdrowia. Cheers. I can tell y'all, I'm feeling this one today.